everyone, welcome to Yester Kitchen. I'm Jill, and this is going to be my final episode of 2018. So I thought, what is a great way to end 2018? With a cocktail. So I have chosen my favorite of favorites of times, and that's the 70s cocktail party. Or really just the 70s altogether, they're all fabulous. And we are going to talk about the fabulous, famous Harvey Wallbanger. Who is Harvey Wallbanger and what's he all about? Well, it's a cute story. It's shrouded in mystery as most food history stories are. Like, there's kind of this story, there's kind of this story, and no one's was exactly sure to say, hey, it's this story. So I'm gonna give you a couple stories and we're gonna drink. And then we're gonna bake because Harvey Wallbanger wasn't just a cocktail, it was a cake. So we're gonna do them both because why not? So Harvey Wallbanger. What is it? Well, it's a screwdriver, vodka, and orange juice with a little Galliano in it. What's Galliano? It's a liqueur from Italy. It's very herbal. It's a little on the anise licorice side. It has some vanilla notes. It has some juniper notes. I don't like black licorice at all, and I really like this drink. So don't let that scare you. Give it a try. So where did this come from? Well, there was a bar in the 1950s, and it was called Duke's Black Watch Bar. It was on Sunset in Hollywood, and a guy named Duke ran it. His real name was Donato Antone, but everyone called him Duke. And he actually said before he passed away that he invented the Harvey Wallbanger. Well, where did he get that name? Well, the story goes that there was a surfer from Manhattan Beach. His name was Tom Harvey. And he would frequent the bar, and a lot. And one day, he had a surfing contest and he lost, and he was really bummed. So he came into his favorite bar, and he said, Duke, I need a drink, and I need something special. So Duke said, I've gotcha. So he made this drink with orange juice and vodka and Galliano, and Tom loved it. And ordered it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And he got super happy. And then he got super sad because he remembered he lost the contest and he started banging his head against the wall. So since the surfer's name was Tom Harvey and he was doing this number, Harvey Wallbanger was born. Now here's the crazy thing. There was no record found of anyone named Tom Harvey associated with this bar ever. So Duke could have been Duke's imaginary friend. It could have been real, but there was no history, no documentation of this guy whatsoever. So who knows? And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, give it a subscribe. Join the party. Be sure to hit the notification bell so next year when I start filming again, you will find every episode. And tell your friends they need to join the party because this is going to get better in 2019. I promise. Got a lot of stuff for you. So anyway, that was one story. The other story happened a little bit later in 1969, and there was a man. His name was George Bednar, and he was the marketing director for a company called McKesson Imports. Guess what they imported? Galliano. Oh, by the way, this is Galliano. It's bright yellow, a little thick, but really good. And it is a little on the pricey side, but if you try it, because you're gonna wanna try this drink, you're gonna wanna try this cake. But on top of that, Galliano is great with root beer. I know, crazy, but that licorice note picks up the root beer beautifully. You can put it in the glass with champagne and a little cranberry juice, and it's really good with whiskey. Give it a try, you will love it. So anyway, back to this. So George Bednar. So we're not sure how it happened, but somehow he came across the recipe for the Harvey Wallbanger. And he went, wow, because by now the Harvey Wallbanger kind of fell out of favor, popularity. It was kind of became a lost recipe. So George said, hey, let's see if we can make this fly. So he went to his art department and said, can you create a character named Harvey Wallbanger? I believe he was a surfer. So the art department went to work and they created Harvey Wallbanger. Now I'm going to show you the ads because when you think surfer, I bet you are not thinking what Harvey Wallbanger is. These are the actual ads that ran in the magazines at the time. So come on, let me show you. Here is Harvey Wallbanger. This was one of the ads. See, he's kind of washed out and not super happy looking, kind of lost. But look at that type. Look at that font. Is that pure 70s or what? And on the bottom, that's the recipe. And he's pretty much saying Harvey Wallbanger is the name and I can be made. And let me show you one more because he is kind of cute. There's another ad, Galliano, and the recipe. And so anyway, they took a chance and started running this ad, and Harvey Wallbanger took off. He took off so much that he became either one of the most popular drinks of the 70s or the most popular drink of the 70s. It depends on who you were talking to, but no matter what, Galliano became the #1 imported liqueur of the 70s. So they did something right. So we're gonna get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna put a glass of ice right in front of the camera. I know it's 10:30 here, but it's 5:30 somewhere, so we're gonna have a drink. So take a look at this. So here's our glass of ice, and now we need vodka. Yes, this is vodka, I promise. I just like to mix things up a little bit. So we're gonna take 1 1/4 ounce of vodka, which is 1 shot glass is 1 ounce. Okay. So look how cute that is. I just love doing that anyway. So we have 1 and about 1/4 shots of vodka. So next, we're gonna take 3 ounces of orange juice. You can have pulp free, whatever you like. So we're gonna take 3 shot glasses of orange juice. And did you know that orange juice was the #1 mixer, I need a little bit more, was the #1 mixer in the 70s. We're gonna take 1 more shot of orange juice, and in it goes. Then we have our trusty spoon, and we're gonna mix it up. It's getting good. And now we have our Galliano. Galliano is strong, so you really don't need a lot. You're gonna need a 1/2 ounce or a 1/2 shot glass. And the idea with Galliano and this drink is you don't mix it in, you float it on top. So we're just gonna kind of gently pour. Whoa. Pour out of the glass, pour in the glass. Oh, let's not forget, what is a drink without a garnish? And of course, you want a beautiful orange. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 1970 in a glass, the Harvey Wallbanger. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. Which is why I don't have my martini glass today, because we're substituting it with this amazing breakfast drink. Breakfast, lunch, I don't know. Okay, so now we're gonna get going to the cake because yes, Harvey Wallbanger is also a cake. And I don't have the history, it's lost in time on exactly who said, wow, this is a good drink, it should be a cake. But hey, who cares? It's a cake. I've made this many times, it's amazing. And we're gonna get started just in a second. Okay, let's make this cake because this cake is fabulous and super easy and great for the holidays or really great for any time. So first thing we're gonna do is this is the cake mix cake. This is the exact original recipe, so super easy. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 box of yellow cake mix. And let's see, in we go, yellow cake mix. And then we're gonna take 1 3½ ounce bag of instant vanilla pudding. Don't do the cooked one. Make sure it's the instant because it's super easy and quick, and it just gives this little happiness. Oh, there's something in my bowl. We don't want that. A little extra something to the cake. Okay. Then you're going to add 4 eggs. Let's talk about eggs. When you're mixing eggs, here I'll show you. There's my eggs, all nice in a bowl. When you're mixing eggs into anything, you really want to crack them into something first, because if you just crack them right into your cake, then if there's like some kind of impurity or there's a shell, it's gonna all go in your cake and you're gonna have to throw it out. So what you do is you crack an egg, put it in a bowl, and then do that. And that 2-second little process is going to save you a ton. I did crack each individual egg into a bowl before I poured it in here. But so now you've got 4. Bloop, 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 bloop. Someone said they like my egg noise, so there you go. 4 eggs. Okay, our next step is to add vegetable oil. We have a 1/2 cup, and in it goes. And then we need our orange juice. So we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of orange juice. And lastly, we need vodka, we need Galliano. Where's my shot glass? Here it is. So we need 1 ounce of vodka, which is 1 shot. And then we need 3 shots of Galliano. Trust me, it'll work out beautifully. Two, and actually I messed up. We need 4 shots of Galliano because the more the merrier, right? 3, 4. Yes, and it's expensive cake, but it is good and it is worth it, and your guests will love you for it. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the mixer. So I'm gonna be quiet. We're gonna mix for about just 2 minutes, just until it gets all incorporated and the lumps are gone and it's pretty fluffy. And if you see any of the mix creeping up on the sides, just go ahead and use your trusty spatula and push it down. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Mixing time. Okay, we're done. We have a beautifully mixed cake. See, this is how you reuse your bag from the cake mix. You just put the beaters on it. There you go. Okay, sorry, I've got so many cords down here, I don't want to trip on them, and I want you to be able to still hear me. Okay, so we have our batter. This is your classic bundt pan. As you can tell, here, I'll put it here. So you can see, as you can tell, I have been using this for years, and it's my favorite. It doesn't exactly have to be this shape. It could be whatever shape you want. Harvey Wallbanger cake is classically a bundt cake, so I've never made it in a cake pan. But if you do, I would say maybe cut the bake time down by maybe about 10 minutes and just test, and then just keep going. And increase it every 3 minutes, give it a test. You remember how we test. We saw the pineapple upside down video, right? This or this, in we go. So I'll just say it really quickly again. You put your little either bamboo skewer or your metal skewer down the middle of the cake, very middle of the cake, about halfway down, pull it out. If it comes out clean, you're golden. If it doesn't, put it back for 2 minutes and then keep testing just every 2 minutes. Don't go over, because then you're gonna have a sad, dry cake. And we don't want a sad, dry cake. So we've got our bundt pan. And we are gonna pour this beautiful mixture into our bundt pan and let it all go around. Where's my spatula? So we got the orange in there. We got the vodka in there. We have, like, seriously, everything in there. If you bring it to the office, you will have some very happy coworkers. Okay, kind of do that just to let the bubbles come up. Okay, so we are gonna put this cake in a 350-degree oven, and we're gonna cook it for 40 to 45 minutes. Start checking at 40, you should be done by 45. When we get back, we'll finish off this cake. There's a alcohol-laden glaze that goes over the top, and I'm gonna drink some more of my drink while I'm waiting. I'll catch up with you in a few. Okay, we are back. My cake baked in about 40 minutes this time. You never know. It depends on the weather, the humidity, your altitude, everything. So always start 5 minutes early and check, and I'm glad I did because mine is beautiful. Take a look. Look at this gorgeous cake. So we pulled it out of the oven, and you want to let it sit for 5 minutes because, as you can see, it starts to pull away from the sides, which just makes it a lot easier to work with. So the first thing we're gonna do is invert our cake. You know how to invert our cake, and if you haven't, go back and watch my pineapple upside down recipe cake. I'm sorry, my pineapple upside down cake video. And you'll see exactly how to do it. And hopefully you've made that cake and you've inverted a few already. So now you're golden. And if not, I'm gonna go ahead and tack the end of tack that video onto the end of this video, so you can go right on into it. So here we have our cake plate. And we're gonna put it right on top. And we're gonna grab the whole darn thing. Down on the bottom, and away we go. That's it. You ready to see it? Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? It's perfect, but it's not done yet. We need to glaze it because there's not enough alcohol. This was the 70s, people. This was the decade of me. This was the decade of party and excess, so why not? So to make this glaze, super, super easy. First thing we do is we have 1 cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna move our cake over for a few minutes. 1 cup of powdered sugar ready to go. We have 1 ounce of vodka or a shot. Now pour that in and just start mixing it around. And let all that powdered sugar just seep into the alcohol and it'll turn into this beautiful glaze. But don't worry, we're not done yet. You just want to kind of stir it so all those little lumps go away. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the good amount. Now, we want 1 shot or 1 ounce of Galliano. And in that goes. Kind of looks like melted butter, huh? And you want to mix that around until it all gets incorporated. My recommendation is just stir from the middle and the sides will kind of all pull in if you go quickly. But don't go too quickly or else it'll start to splash out and you'll have a mess. And nobody wants to lose glaze like mine just started splashing out. Okay, so that is exactly what you want it to look like. By the way, National Harvey Wallbanger Day is November is it the 8th or the 3rd? I wrote it down, the 8th. So it's great for the holidays, but definitely on the 8th, make yourself a drink or a cake or both. So here's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna bring our cake back. We're gonna poke holes in it because we want the glaze to absorb. You can either use your bamboo skewer or your metal skewer. I'm gonna use a bamboo one because it just makes tinier holes. So it's just all about presentation. But don't worry, if all you have is metal, use the metal. And you're gonna poke holes all the way around it, just like that. And by the way, while I'm doing this, just so you know, the 70s theme parties are making a comeback. So have one. Make Harvey Wallbangers. Make the cake. Dress up, play the music, and watch my 3-part canapé series, all attached out at the end of the video too, so you can get an idea of what kind of appetizers to pass. And don't worry, I have a lot more 70s cocktail party appetizers coming in 2019. So after you've kind of did quite a bit, we're gonna take this fabulous glaze. You don't wanna pour it, you wanna spoon it because you wanna go slow. And you wanna spoon it all over. And let it seep in and around and coat this gorgeous, gorgeous cake. And it's just, whatever pan you use, it'll take on that shape and it'll be so pretty. All right, so now in the interest of time, I'm gonna kind of pour the rest. But I want you, when you're not, because you're not filming, to go ahead and spoon it on. Maybe poke a few more holes like this as you go, so that glaze can be sure to get in there. Because as you can see, mine is welling up in the center. And yours will well up in the center some, but if you take the time to kind of spoon and then poke and then spoon and then poke, it will come out perfect. And now, just to make it super pretty, we're gonna take some orange slices and put them around the outside. So everyone can get an idea of the flavor they're about to have. Whoa. Oranges are going everywhere. All right, that's good. Here you go. Isn't that gorgeous? The Harvey Wallbanger cake. Have a party, talk about the history, learn your history through food, and everyone have an amazing holiday season. From my house to your house, I hope you have the best time and all the happiness in the world in 2016. 2016? Whoa, 2019. But I'll see you in 2019. So have a great time, happiness always, and remember, history has never tasted so good.